Hello, everyone. I am Krooked, and this is Unscripted, the series where I take a completely unscripted look at games and give it a 1 through 10 rating. Today, we're taking a look at Jim Lee's Wildcats. Jim Lee is the current CEO of DC, if I'm not mistaken. And back in the day, he was a comic book creator who got fed up with DC and Marvel, made his own comic line, created the Wildcats, and it was pretty successful. It had a TV series in the 90s, and it was always really cool. Later on, it ended up having kind of a reputation for being a lot more adult than most comics at the time, and it's not really something that kids should have read, but because of the Saturday morning cartoon, well, a lot of kids knew about it. It's kind of like Savage Dragon, Ultimate Dragon, Savage Dragon, yeah. Very similar style overall in the comics itself, and then, yeah, its popularity as well. So, a lot of these characters have been reintroduced into DC, like Grifter, Spartan. I believe I'm playing as Spartan. It's been a really long time, and I don't remember all the character names. But, yeah, so if you read a comic today, you might see some of these characters, even though they weren't originally from DC, and that's because of, you know, Jim Lee being part of DC and a bunch of other acquisitions and other stuff. So, now that all that's out of the way, let's get into the actual game. So this is side-scrolling beat-em-up. Clearly. I don't know what else you would call this game. Very much in the style of other side-scrolling beat-em-up games. It doesn't do much different. You have powers that you can use, like he has a little energy blast that you can do. You can walk up and grab enemies, punch them, do the energy blast. Once you start charging it, you can't turn around at all, so that kind of sucks. You also have the bombs in the middle of the screen, as you can see there, which kind of give you the ability to screen wipe enemies. I wanna get in this, but it won't let me. Wow. How? So select is what does the screen wipe. I just wasted it. Okay, so you have to like actually hop onto that to get in. But if I remember right, you can use this to ram the wall. Yeah, you have to back all the way up, though. So you ram the wall, he breaks it, and it's just to pick up this item. But then you get, you know, trapped by two Hulk Hogans who are trying to tell you that you're not welcome in this part of their neighborhood. But then you just beat them up and you go about your day, because it's Hulk Hogan, and, well, who cares what he thinks? Yeah, so the thing that I just grabbed increases my power that I can charge up. So now it can be a huge energy beam. This guy's shooting like little pellets at me, and he's really difficult. Controls-wise, I mean, it's a side-scrolling beat-em-up. There's not really much to say here. Graphically, it looks really clean. You can tell a lot about the environments in the background. You can tell which characters are which. It's clean. It looks really, really good. Sound-wise, it's kind of basic. Oh, I don't know what happened to the health pickup. You can't run by double tapping, which is kind of sad, but you can jump kick, which kind of takes you across the screen. Ow. Pick up lives. It's very basic. Not a lot of enemies on the screen. I think like 2, maybe 3 is the most we've seen. Blocking is way too powerful for these guys, because they're able to just block through any and all damage that I try to inflict. There's no block button for me, which kind of sucks, because that means I just have to take damage as it comes. there's not a lot of enemy variety. Granted, this is only the first level, and we're going to be seeing more, but there's just not a bunch here. There's some stage effects, which always great to see, you know, give you reason to not just stand around, which means it's slightly more advanced than some older beat-em-ups, but it's still pretty early in the era of beat-em-ups where you're not exactly getting the arcade experience, you're getting a console game that looks like an arcade experience. And it's slow. Like, there's just not much going on that's really great. The music, well, it sounds good, isn't something that's going to be memorable. You're not going to be sitting there after playing this thinking, oh man, I can't believe how good the music was. Oh yeah, this Spartan. In Wildcats. It's not going to be like Streets of Rage where you're sitting there for weeks, months, years, decades talking about how good the music is. If you think the decades thing is an exaggeration, I know people who will tell you today about how good Streets of Rage and its music is. So I'm just gonna do those. Okay, he has 2 health bars. That's something. As you can tell, I can't really do much to him. He just does this. This is kind of how you beat him, is you just have to move out of the way because he can't line up properly in one go. Oh, well, that worked. This is by far one of the worst parts of this game, is you just started and you have this incredibly difficult boss that really has no reason to be this difficult other than I don't think they wanted you to see the rest of the game. So after he killed me, I lost my awesome power-up, which means I have to just kind of struggle bus against him from here. Hope that I can kill his forklift of doom. And yeah, this is where this game starts to fall apart really, really hard, because no matter what I want to do, this is dumb. This is just dumb. He's super strong. It hits me, knocks me over immediately. I have nothing that I can do about it. And it kind of ruins a huge portion of this game because it's no longer in any way fun. Because he just sits there and will keep... so he will just keep running you over and running you over and running you over until you die. And it's kind of like Street Fighter car, and it's just so bad. And then he just lets this guy who tried to kill him go. So this is not even good storytelling, really. Alright, so then you go through all this, and you're still just Spartan. After this level, you actually get to pick your character, but honestly, you're still playing at this point. That's surprising. The Daemonites, like these little alien living creatures, they're really strong and really annoying to get through. I want to give this game a better score because I have a lot of nostalgia for it as a kid. But if we're being completely honest here, there's not a lot in this game that's really fun or entertaining. It's kind of... It looks good because it's a comic book game. But it plays terribly because it's so boring. And it's so basic, and even though you do get to play as other characters later on, it's not worth getting to the later on. Maybe if you put in codes, it might be better, but honestly, this game just isn't what any other beat 'em up is in the same era. So, in terms of a score, what I'm going to go ahead and give Jim Lee's Wildcats is about a 5 out of 10. Maybe a 5.5, because it is really pretty to look at. But unless you're a huge fan of beat 'em ups, you're not going to like this game. You might like it if it's a comic book, which is why it's gained that half a star, or half a point for, you know, the 5.5. But otherwise, if you're not a fan of beat 'em ups, this isn't going to change your mind. This is probably going to turn you off of beat 'em ups, and it's not going to be a fun time. So, with all that, I do want to thank you for watching Unscripted. And if you liked this video, go ahead and hit that like button. Hit the subscribe button so that way you never miss out. Hit the bell notifications so that way you'll be notified when a new episode does come out. And other than that, if you do want to support the channel further, go ahead and check out my Patreon. You can find a link in the description down below. And with all of that, I do want to thank you again for watching Unscripted, and I will see you on the next episode. Bye!